So this is all right. Great to be back, and I would like to. It's 9:03, so we are here. We have all the role players in place in just 2 minutes. Okay, now let's move on. Let me invite the president. Over to you, Anvita, to open up this meeting.
Thank you, Rosie. Rumi has said that if you have light in your heart, you will always find your way home. So always have light in your heart. That is, have hope in life. You can achieve anything in life. Back to our Toastmaster, Rosie.
Thank you, Anvita, our president. Okay, since we have two speakers today, so we are not going to have table topic today because we have quite a long speech, and I would like to invite our first speaker, which is none other than our Udly master, Kathy. Over to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Rosie. Today, I want to share with you some tips and techniques that can help you to influence and grow your business through public speaking. So when I said public speaking, what went through your head? Did that scare you? Public speaking for many people is very scary. But why are we afraid to public speak? Is it because of bad experiences in the past? Could it be that we just don't know what to say? Maybe lack of experience, anxiety, or just fear of feeling foolish? As business owners, one of the things when you look at your business from a customer's perspective, when you're looking at a business, don't you want to purchase from somebody who you like, trust, and know? This is one of the reasons why I wanted to share with you a different marketing technique. So many people are using social media and throwing things out on the internet, but a way to connect with your future customers is to actually use public speaking to connect with them and be able to let them know, trust, and like you. Now, when I shared about public speaking, what was the first thing that went through your head? Did it terrify you? The first question I want to ask you guys, and with a show of hands, who in here considers themselves an extrovert? Somebody who's gregarious and gets a lot of energy from being around people. Get a show of hands. Now, who in here considers themselves an introvert? It's not necessarily that you don't like people, it's just that they have a tendency to drain your energy. Now, is there anybody like me that since COVID, you're not really sure whether you're an extrovert or an introvert? I call them a COVID avert. So regardless of what kind of vert you are, I'm going to give you some tips and techniques that will make it easier for you to get out there and public speak and market your business so that you can create new customers and clients. So the person who's the expert in your business is you. So this is one of the reasons you are the expert. You're sharing it, and you can talk to people just like they're your friend. So I'm using the acronym SPEAK on how to help you become a better speaker and marketing your business. First off, we're going to start with storytelling. You can go and talk about your business all you want, but the way to seal the deal is by adding storytelling to your presentation. What do I mean by storytelling? Let me give you an example. Say you're talking about an experience with your mom. First example. I got home from school and my mom gave me a cookie. It's a story, but just a little bit of a story. Next example. I got home from a long day from school. I'm exhausted. What a long day. I open up the door and this amazing aroma hits me. The smell of fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. I sit down at the counter in the kitchen, and my mother hands me a plate of warm, melty chocolate chip cookies and a cold glass of milk. It was amazing. So what was the difference between those two stories? And which one do you think you'd remember later on? In the first story, it told us the story, but it didn't go into details. And in the second story, we actually got your senses involved. Sight, smell, taste. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready for some cookies now. But by sharing it, a tip, giving people information and connecting it with a story, whether it's an experience in your business with a client, something that you've overcome, things like that, and sealing it with a story, you seal in that tip that you had. So you present some information and then take a story to seal it in so that your audience and your future customers will remember that. So that is S. P for practice. Practice, practice, practice. Even the introvert can release a lot of their anxiety by practicing their presentation. You write it out. One of the first ways to practice is using an audio, like use your phone. You can record it on your phone. It helps you when you're practicing the presentation, not just writing it down. You want it to sound smooth, not like you're reading it off of a page. The next thing you can do is go and video yourself so you can see what your hands are doing, what other people will see when you're doing a presentation. A third way to do it is actually to use an app called Udly that I'll share a little bit more about that later in my presentation. But it's like a smart mirror that can give you feedback on whether you're doing some filler words and maybe catch some words that you maybe didn't realize that you were accidentally adding to your presentation. So that is P. Eye contact. Why is eye contact important? It connects you with your audience. I'm going to give you a couple of different tips because some of you may be presenting in person and some of you may be presenting online, and how eye contact will differ in those two situations. Now, if you're very nervous about speaking, I recommend showing up early for your presentation. This gives you the opportunity, if you don't know anybody in your audience, if you come early, you can perhaps meet a few people in the audience, and that is a person that you can connect with when you're in the room with your presentation. So it makes it a little bit easier. Eye contact increases your credibility and shows your enthusiasm. People can see your authenticity when you do that. Now, when you are presenting online, it is extremely important to be looking at your camera. A lot of people, if you're in a Zoom or other type of video environments, have a tendency to look around the Brady Bunch on the screen. And that does not connect you with your audience because each person is seeing you directly, like I'm looking at you right now, because most of us are on Zoom. I was at a competition the other day, and the young lady that was speaking was looking below the camera the whole time. So she never connected with her audience during that. Now, when you're in a hybrid environment, eye contact is a little different, but you need to also be aware of that. You want to be aware of the audience in your room, but you don't want to forget the audience that is in front of the camera. So when you're looking around, finding contact, be sure that you stop in front of the camera so that people that are online can see that you're aware that they're there. Again, in a different competition, the competitors were specifically told that all of their judges were online. But because they were in the room, they were looking at the audience in the room and completely ignored the camera. So the judges were not getting eye contact. And in this particular contest, they were being scored on eye contact and presentation. So just be aware that regarding where you're deciding to do a presentation is where your eye contact is going to be. The fact is with Zoom after COVID, we have the opportunity to reach people all over the world. And this is really important, depending on the type of business that you have, that you can reach not just your local market, but go well beyond your borders and to be able to help because you want your business to grow. A, authenticity. The It's important to give people your knowledge and your expertise, but it's also important to share your struggles along the way. Successes are super important, but put yourself in the audience member's seat. If all you talk about is your successes, is it possible that your audience is thinking, well, it was easy for them? When you're talking about your successes, you might share a struggle that you had with a client that you overcame, how it was a challenge that to even come to the expertise that you have. So show people your successes, but show people the struggles you've overcome, whether a client, business-wise, or even a shift in business. That authenticity will grow and help you with that connection with your audience. Okay. One of the things that I see a lot of presenters do, they forget to keep in touch with your audience. Once you've given your presentation, you want to make sure that you connect with them for the future. It can be inviting them for additional tips along the way, inviting them to a newsletter. And you don't want to spam them all the time, but you want to make sure that you're keeping a connection and follow up with people. So you could provide a white sheet that includes additional information about your topic, but you want to make sure that you keep in touch with those. They may not be ready to buy right now, but they might be at a different time. So keeping in touch with people in the future is extremely important. You want to make sure that in your presentation that it's not all about salesy. You want to show them your expertise. Because if you become too salesy, the first thing people will start doing is they're going to start looking at their phone because you're like, they're trying to sell me on this. What the key is you really want to make sure that you're giving them information about why they should select you for their business. You also want to make sure that you're not denigrating another competitor. You want to make sure you're showing the benefits of your business and why they should select you, because for many people, it can be a turnoff if you're talking poorly about another company. So make sure that you're showing your benefits and why they should hire you rather than somebody else. Earlier, I was discussing about practicing, and I know for a lot of people, speaking in public can be challenging. Two things that I recommend that people haven't tried that are very affordable are, one of them is Toastmasters International. If you are not familiar with Toastmasters International, it's a nonprofit organization. They have clubs all across the globe. You can either do an in-person club, you just go to toastmasters.org and you can find a local club, or you can find amazing clubs all over the country virtually. I've been able to meet people from all over the world and be able to speak at clubs all over the world. Another tool that can be like a speech coach in your pocket is Udly AI. Now, this is an app that has a presentations app for the general public. If you're a Toastmaster, there's a special one just for Toastmasters. With Udly AI, it's like a smart mirror. So you, instead of just talking in the mirror or talking to your dog when you're practicing your presentation, you can actually get real-time feedback from Udly. It will tell you things about filler words, your eye contact, things like that. We talked about eye contact earlier. Udly will help you with that. You can just go to udly.ai and you can download the app. There's also a private Udly, and it can actually help you keep notes and make you aware of your presentation and be able to add more things to your speech. So these are some tips that can help you along the way to help you grow your business. And again, I want to go back over those, what we had talked about. My acronym SPEAK. S is for storytelling to help you seal the deal. P is for practice. Practice helps you kick those nerves to the curb. E is for eye contact, so you can show your enthusiasm. A is for authenticity, because we want to show them that we're the expert. We want to make sure that they know, even if we had to practice through the school of hard knocks. And K is very important to keep in touch with our customers from the presentation, so that they can, even if they're not ready to buy today, they might be ready to buy in the future, and they want they want to know more information. These tips on speaking, these are just kind of basics for you to get started. There's an opportunity. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many keys to presentation, and I will be teaching some courses to go in depth and doing special presentations just for people that are wanting to speak with their business. But I wanted to give you some of the basics to be able to help get you started and help get kick those nerves to the curb. So be sure to be able to speak your expertise so that you can grow your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. So it's easier for us to remember because you have the acronym SPEAK and you introduced the Udly, which has been very useful. And I agree with you. I have been using Udly quite a lot recently, and I find it is very beneficial. Thank you. And before I forget just now, and sorry, just now I didn't introduce the theme of today, which is practice makes permanent, from one of the acronym that shared by Kathy as well. Okay. And then Kathy spoke from the motivational strategy L5, which is to prepare to speak professionally. And the project title was Speak Your Expertise. Now let's move on to our second speaker, which is going to present a pathways of persuasive influence, level 3 elective, which is connect with storytelling. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the title is The Hand Palm. And I would like to call none other than our president, Amvita, the hand palm. Amvita, over to you.
I don't think she's in the room.
Yeah, looks like there's something else. Maybe something has happened with the connection, maybe. I don't know. You're on mute, Rosie.
Oh, sorry, because just now I saw Amvita and now we lost her. So shall we get a timing report for our first speaker first? Oh, sure, thank you.
Yes, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, Kathy's speech was 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right, thank you. All right, so while waiting for Anvita, I think I just introduced the theme of the day, which is practice makes permanent. And then the word of the day is expertise. All right. And I think we can, shall we go on to our table topics?
So we didn't schedule the table topics, but if we could discuss that topic, I think that would be a great idea. And
Right.
and then if Anvita comes back, we can just.
Yes. Okay. So so I would like to call maybe Sanjeev, since you are.
Hi.
Hi. All right. Your topic today is, what do you think of practice? We heard before. Amvita is back. Just one table topic for you, Sanjit. We know that practice. People say practice makes perfect. What do you think about practice makes permanent? Over to you, Sanjit. 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Roji, for a very interesting topic. And these days, I'm actually doing the same. I'll give you a real life example how the practice makes perfect, and at the same time, it makes the things permanent. Uh, because there is a real life story with me, because I scared of driving, because I never think of driving in my life. When I was in India, I never bought a car or anything. I always relied on the hired car all the time. I keep hiring the car, and if I have to go somewhere, I will use that. But since I came to Ireland, the driving is a very mandatory thing. Without driving, you cannot survive. So firstly, I just uh, tried to avoid for few years, but now it was on extreme. So then I decided, no, I have to learn the driving, and I have to overcome whatever fear, whatever anxiety with me, I definitely have to overcome to be a driver, because it was my whole family was suffering for that. So in the meantime, I was just absent in this this Toastmaster Saturday, because I was just learning driving, and now I bought my own car and I'm just practicing, and each day I'm seeing myself improving, and it is getting permanent. Back to you, Toastmaster Roji. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, congratulations on getting your car and being able to drive. Wow, yes, we have to practice to make it permanent, but in no time, you will just, driving will be just your second nature. You don't have to think about anything and you will enjoy it more. Then, all right, now let's call our second speaker. Is back now. And Vita, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Rosie. I'm attending from my
Great.
mobile.
Great. So I've already introduced, this is from your motivational strategy in this level 3, connect with storytelling. And the title is, let's see, the title is The Hand Palm. And Vita, over to you, the hand palm. And Vita.
Once a man was lost in the desert. His flask had run out of water 2 days ago. He knew that if he did not get some water soon, he would definitely die. Good day, Toastmasters. The man saw a small hut ahead of him. Is it a mirage or a hallucination? He wondered. But as he did not have any option, he moved towards the hut. As he got closer, he realized that the hut was real. It looks old. It seems as if it has been abandoned for some time now, he thought. As he entered the hut, his heart skipped a beat, because inside the hut, there was a water hand pump. Thank God, he said. There was a pipe which went down through the floor, perhaps connecting to some underground source of water. The man began working the pump. No water came out of it. He kept at it. Still nothing happened. He was exhausted and frustrated. He threw his hands up in the air in despair and said, I'm going to die after all. At that moment, he saw a bottle at one corner of the room. It had water in it and was corked up to prevent evaporation. He uncorked it and was about to gulp down the water when he saw a small note attached to it. The note read, use this water to fill the pump. When you're done, don't forget to fill the bottle again. The man was now in a dilemma. He could ignore the instruction and drink the water, or he could pour the water into the pump. He thought, what do I do now? I'm confused. If I pour the water into the pump, what assurance do I have that it will work? What if the pipe leaks? What if the pump malfunctions? What if somebody is playing a prank on me? What if this note is very old? He was consumed by his thoughts. Then he thought, but then the instruction may be correct. Should I take a risk? If it turns out to be false, I would be throwing away the last bit of water I would ever see again. After thinking for a long time, the man came to a decision. Hands trembling, he poured the water into the pump. At first, nothing happened. Then he heard a gurgling sound. Shh! Water gushed out everywhere, more than he could possibly ever use. I'm going to live, he exclaimed. He luxuriated in the cool and refreshing water. After having his fill, he felt much better. He looked around the hut. He saw a pencil and a map of the region. After going through it, he thought, from this map, I understand that I'm still far away from civilization. Let me fill my flask and continue the journey ahead. At least I know where I am and which direction to go. The man filled his flask. He also filled the bottle with water. Before leaving the hut, he added a small note below the instruction, which read, "Believe me, it works." Dear Toastmasters, what would you have done if you were in his position? Would you have followed the instruction? Or would you have poured the water into the pump? The man survived because of his faith. He had faith in the instruction that made him start the pump, which gave him water for the journey ahead. Otherwise, he wouldn't have survived. Everything in this world is based on faith. We wouldn't be here in today's meeting if we didn't have faith that Toastmasters will make us better speakers as well as leaders. We wouldn't have had any friends if we didn't have faith in people. We wouldn't have held on to any job if we didn't have faith that we will be able to do it. Everything is based on faith. Have faith in life's Toastmasters. Only then will life have faith in you. Back to the Toastmaster, Rosie.
Thank you, Toastmaster and Vita, for that speech. Yes. Our mother, and Vita, congratulations again. And I thought your topic related to what's your role now, but apparently it's something else. All right, now let's move on to let's hear the timer report for the travel topic as well as Anvita's speech. Over to you, Ausha.
Yes. Sanjeev's table topic was 1 minute, 25 seconds. Anvita's speech was 5 minutes, 57 seconds.
Great. So everyone spoke within the time limit. And I would like now to call our general evaluator because we are moving into another section which is the evaluation session. And I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Somich. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I would like to first do the role of speech evaluation for Kathy's speech. So congratulations, Kathy, on an excellent speech. I'll just read the purpose of Prepare to Speak Professionally, according to Pathways. It says that the purpose of this project is to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. And it says the overview is write and present an 18 to 22 minute keynote style speech. Exemplify the point of view or message you would convey as a professional level speaker. You may choose to use visual aids if they fit your speech and your style. Your speech may be humorous, informational, or any style that appeals to you and supports the speech content. So this was the objective for Kathy's speech, and congratulations, Kathy, you achieved the objectives there. So in terms of the good points in your speech, what I would say is it was really conversational style. So I think that really helps to connect with the audience. You had mentioned in your speech as well that you should not be, if you're talking about the business, and you mentioned that if the person is on a salesy type of pitch while doing the business speech, people will just cop onto it, and then, instead of actually getting the customers, you might actually wade off the customers from you. So the best way of getting customers, and you actually went on with the message of how a business person can use public speaking to their advantage in order to get more customers. And then you helped us with the acronym of SPEAK, which was really a good way to inform people about what you wanted to talk about. And you mentioned what each of those acronyms are, so which was really great. So in essence, I think, and you actually mentioned, you gave a very good example of the storytelling aspects as well, which was really very good. The way you have informed about a person coming back from school and looking for a cookie from mommy, and you actually helped us understand by giving that practical example. I think that was really great, that the way you have done it. So that was fantastic. So I think everything was excellent. What I would recommend is you can probably have a little bit more stories in your acronyms. While you're telling the acronyms, you could actually have some stories there. And when you have those stories, you will actually use the time that you have, 18 to 22 minutes you have. So you could actually put in some extra stories, your own personal experiences in terms of, say, for example, your own business, something you have done right and something you probably have not done right, and what experiences did you get out of it. So you could actually give those examples, and then you have brought in your own experiences there as well in your speech. So that's the only small recommendation I have. Otherwise, it was perfect speech, and thank you very much for enlightening us with all those important aspects of how to develop a business. Thank you so much. So now we go to the second speech evaluator, that is Teresa Carolyn. Over to you, Teresa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. GE, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Anvita, we are so happy to have you with us this morning. The purpose of Anvita's story, of Anvita's speech, was to give us a story. And Anvita is definitely a master storyteller, and her new baby is going to definitely be have many hours of listening to his mom. You told us a very interesting story about life. And I think that we all took something away from it, especially when you gave us the call to action to have faith. I believe that that made us think about what we would do in this situation and how we would change things. Your story was very well structured and very easy to follow. I was very thankful for that. Now, what I found was that at the opening, your very first words could be stronger. I sort of missed what you had said. And I think it was something like once there was, or in that sort of sense. So maybe either use stronger vocal variety, which I will address in a minute, or ask a question or say something, a quote or something that would relate to your story, just so that you could have that impact to draw us in a little bit, a little faster. However, once you got started, as I said, you are a master storyteller and you kept us involved. I found that for your vocal variety, again, as I had said, there it would have helped, maybe in a different situation throughout the speech as well. I found that you needed to have a little bit more excitement showing. Your pace was a bit slow. I know when we're telling a story, we're telling it slowly so everybody can hear, but I think that you could have increased your speech pace. And to challenge yourself, well, you were standing up, you were here, and honestly, you haven't been speaking for a few months, and so you've got it. just continue speaking, and we will be so happy to be listening to more speeches. And of course, a speech about that brand new baby. Back to you, Mr. Mr. GE.
Thank you very much, Teresa, for a nice evaluation. And it's really good that we keep giving recommendations in our evaluations, which is really important for the speakers. And as an advanced club, I think it's really important that we keep doing that. So thank you so much for that. Now we do not have the R counter and grammarian. I think, Rosie, you put in the word expertise there. So that's good. We can try and use expertise word there. I would like to invite a timer, Kaushal Gupta, to please give us the timings for the 2 speech evaluations. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters. So Mesha's evaluation was 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Teresa's evaluation was 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. I don't think we have any other role holders today. So, and we are still only 14:40 now. So if you like, we can have few topics now. Should we go ahead with topics? Okay. Let's so expertise is the I'll just try and find some topics. We are the word of the day is expertise. Is that right, Rosie? Yeah. So let's try and use the word of the day in our topics. Table topics. Just trying to find some topics. Okay, so I have one topic here. If your job gave you a surprise 3-day paid break to rest and recuperate, what would you do with those 3 days? Maybe Kaushal.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, if my job gave me a surprise 3-day break, I would try not to do what I usually do when I get a weekend, which is not to get much done. I would try to do something a little special. I would try to pick up a skill, or at least start learning a skill, start getting some expertise in something. Something I've wanted to do that I haven't done in a long time is rock climbing. I recently done some research, and there actually is a rock climbing facility near my area. So I think what I would do is finally go to this rock climbing place that I've been having my eye on for a long time and start climbing the walls and seeing if I can develop some expertise in that skill. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. It's great that you have used the word of the meeting as well. Well done on that. We can go to the next topic. Okay, this is an interesting one. How would your country change if everyone, regardless of age, could vote? How would your country change if everyone, regardless of age, could vote? Sabri, are you there? Okay, looks like
I am
you're
here.
there.
Yeah, but I can't put my video on.
That's fine. You can just talk.
Right. Okay. Wow. Interesting. If the people of all ages, right, can vote in my country, what would my country be like? That's the topic. Am I right?
Yes.
Wow. If people of ages, which means that even 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old can vote, wow, the country is going to go to the dogs. Because young age under 18, I believe, in fact, under 21, because youth in Malaysia are not as advanced as youth in any other countries, because we are a very, very young developing country. The people, the children here are more into social medias, are more into entertainment, and not so much into politics or educations. Yeah, we have children who are also into education, who are intelligent, but the majorities are into entertainment, are into these social media things. So Malaysia will go to the dogs if all children, everybody of all ages can vote. No, I don't think we should allow that. I believe the age of voting should be 21. We should stick to 21, even though the government is trying to get it to be 18, because 18, they're not ready. They're not matured just yet, not like any other countries. Malaysians are a pampered lot. Our youth are pampered. Parents are pampering their children. And I think we should just go on with 21 years old as the right voting age. I believe that is for Malaysia, which is slightly different from all other countries. Any other countries, you are developed. We are still developing, but our children are underdeveloped. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Sabri. It was a kind of cheeky kind of question, as kids are. So now there is a new technology that has come in from Apple recently. You probably would have heard about Vision Pro headset. Apple has recently announced a type of headset. Basically, what they're saying is you actually won't need any actual screens. Through the headset, you will be able to do a lot of things. You can virtually create a screen and you can do a lot of things. So I got a question, maybe Sanjeev, what do you think about that? And would you use that kind of technology?
Thank you very much. Uh, yeah, definitely. I'll go for those kind of innovative technology. I'll definitely adopt. I have heard about AR VR, which is one of the very hot things in 5G, and but I've never heard. But it seems like the VR, like where you wear a specs like things, and you can just go through those reality. You can use it as a screen. You can do your job over that. So I love technology, and I definitely will adopt and love to adopt the new uh, technology. And of course, if Apple is bringing something to the market, it should be very unique and very robust, and soon it become a hot cake in the market. Back to you, topic master. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjeev. And I saw the comment from Kathy about 3,500. Yes, I think it's going to be quite expensive. Generally, everything that Apple brings in is quite expensive as well. Yeah, if people have noticed it, uh, they are probably the richest company in the world, actually, in terms of the revenue that they have. But of course, they were the pioneers in terms of bringing in the smartphone and everything else, like the iPod, which came in initially, and then the iPad, and then the smartphone and everything else. So seems to be a promising one. Like Meta had something quite similar, but it was not for generic use. It was mainly for metaverse, as they called it, to have your own avatar, and that avatar will do lots of things. It was more on a gaming kind of level rather than on a day-to-day use kind of level. But then they had this glasses as well that they brought in, the Meta, where you can actually record things through your glasses rather than having camera, phone, or anything else. So the wearables seems to be the direction that the technology industry is going in. Let's see how far it goes. I think we are nearly there, or maybe we can take one more topic if that's okay. So maybe we'll go again with the technology aspect. What smartphone feature would you actually be excited for a company to implement? Anyone wants to volunteer for that? We'll go that way. We don't have any volunteers. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead, Casual.
No, you go ahead. My idea is not very interesting.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. My idea, and you're gonna think this is really crazy and nobody would want to ever put this on their smartphone. But my idea is one in which that would make us use our smartphones less, because I think you're all like me. We just use our smartphones just a little too much. And the idea I have is a feature that would actually make your use your smartphone less. Maybe you would have to pay to use your smartphone by the minute. Every minute you get charged a little bit. And I see in the chat, Kathy added the idea of a smartphone timeout. I think there are actually already apps that do that, but you can easily defeat those apps, right? Just delete that app. But if a company with a smartphone actually made you pay per minute, I think we would be a lot more circumspect about how long we use our smartphones. Then we can put our smartphones away and live our lives the way we used to live them, and maybe use the extra time we have to get more mentally healthy, devote more time to developing expertise in things that we've always wanted to do, but instead we're just watching YouTube videos about doing them. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. It's a very innovative answer, I would say. Teresa, you have your hand over, so please go ahead.
I just wanted to say that if a smartphone, if one company decided they were going to do that, then another company would probably invent something that would counteract that. I mean, maybe that would be great for people like me in Canada, because our provider, we probably pay a lot more than you pay in the United States or in Europe or in Malaysia or India. We pay unbelievable rates. And so I would say that it would be great to do that, because maybe there'll be a little bit more, there would be some competition, but it's the provider, I guess, that would be charging you. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. So, but great thought. I love the idea. Let's get off. Let's just do it mentally. 1 minute, one less hour on our smartphone.
I think there are some features that keep track of how much time you use the phone for.
Yes.
So there are some apps that actually, they're wellness, related to wellness as well. So that's one of the options that people can use. Looks like there's few, we'll just go for the last topic. If magic was real, what spell would you try to learn first? If magic was real, what spell would you try to learn first? Rosie, would you like to go for that?
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. If I have a magic wand, something like that, right? I would definitely want to have information about stock market. For example, if I know that Apple stock is going to be how it is today, I would have bought years ago and be rich. So I would like to know what stock that I can buy today that can make me richer. So that's a kind of shortcut. But of course, I'm not a genie, so I will not be able to do that. And I would like to have that capability. And like what Coach said, something to learn new skills. And I would like to have that skills. And I think it is very difficult to have a prediction of the future, and like what actual sign is actually doing that. They can predict the future, but still they are not there where they can actually go and buy stocks. Well, I know that there's one guy by the name of Mo Gaudat who can actually say, and I can go to stock market and make a lot of money by doing some kind of calculation. I'd like to learn that, but I didn't get to that stage yet. But I think that is one thing. If I can a magic wand that I want to learn is to know what stock is going to increase tomorrow, so I can get benefit from that. Thank you. Back to you, Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Rosie. You're talking about developing the expertise of stock market. And in a sense, actually, expertise is magic, isn't it? The people who are experts, they have magic in their own area, and they provide that magical experience to the people who come and look for that expertise. With that, I would like to just do the general evaluator role now. And I think we started just a couple of minutes late, but that was fine. It's the role holders, we are kind of in a challenge situation. So I think the most important thing is hopefully we can get more new members joining, and hopefully the club grows, and then we can have more people doing speeches and more people doing different roles. Excellent role as usual. The Toastmaster role, Rosie, congratulations on that. And then great speeches. Our two very advanced speakers, Kathy and Anvita, thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us. And thank you very much, Kaushal, for helping with that time, and Teresa for a nice evaluation. I think it was a great meeting, and thank you so much for everyone for joining today. Over to you, Rosie.
Thank you, Mr. GE, distinguished Toastmasters, so much. Yes, our theme today, I'm sorry, we have a late theme, practice makes permanent. It's not perfect anymore because nothing is perfect in this world. We can do something over and over so it becomes our second nature. And I'm really thankful that today we don't have complete role players, but we can just do it very fast because it's permanent for us. When we first join in, for me, it is like, wow, I'm afraid to do a lot of roles. But now it's just like our second nature, and it's a permanent thing. And I think it's not only here, but also outside of this Zoom frame. With that, I would like to end this meeting and pass back to our President, Anvita. Over to you. Anvita, are you there?
Thank you. Yeah, yes, I'm here. Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes.
We can hear you, yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Are you there, Anvita? Now we can hear you. Can you say something?
Seems there is a connection issue, I think.
Okay.
Where
Then
she's joining.
we'll take a photo, maybe. Okay, smile everyone. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, I'll share in the group. Okay, thank you. So I give back to you, Teresa.
Thank you very much, Rosie. That was a great meeting. I agree with Somesh. We just need to keep that practice getting permanent. For next week, we've had some changes